the startup category of the NASSCOMM Innovation Awards saw technologists, entrepreneurs and judges alike all turn up to take a look at 6 of the most innovative startups from across the country. First up was a panel discussion.
So if that kind of attitude really comes in,
featuring luminaries like Anand Deshpande, founder of Persistent Systems,
getting used to doing things that is defined to you, then it's hard to come up with your own ideas. Unfortunately,
and Rajdeep Serawat, Vice President at NASSCOMM.
I want to see where the numbers.
From outsourcing to education, the startups presenting to them were from 6 different sectors. And one by one, they took the stage and presented their companies to the audience and jury members.
very willing to listen to you.
I just have one question that...
Questions, advice, discussions and debate. The 6 presenting startups were certainly put to the test.
One of the challenges we were facing was talent, availability of talent.
So now we've given you a brief glimpse into what the awards are all about, but to give us a bit more detail and perspective, we're joined by Rajdeep from NASSCOMM. Rajdeep, tell us also a little bit about the history and give us a bit of an insight into how these awards came into being in the first place.
Okay. So about 6 years back, when we were looking at how do you promote the cause of innovation in India, one of the platforms we wanted to create was that we need to showcase that innovation is happening across the length and breadth of India. And from the first couple of years, we just awarded innovation in generic. But last 2-3 years, we've created specific categories of innovation. Then last year, we thought that the smaller companies are not getting their place in the sun. So we created a special category for young innovators, which were not young people, but they were young firms. So firms which are 3-year-old in existence, we created a category for them. So now we have categories for technology innovation, business model innovation.
Because innovation can be quite a subjective field. How do you actually go about picking a winner or saying that yes, this is an idea that makes a difference?
So we have a 3-tier process. We generally apply, now these brands have acquired a brand, the awards have acquired a brand of their own. Now, so we got a lot of applications. Then we also started working with BCG, the Boston Consulting Group, last year. So they are our knowledge partners. So they have created an extensively robust evaluation criteria. So all the applications which come in the various categories, we filter them through this evaluation criteria between BCG and NASSCOMM. Then we create a subset of about 4 or 5 firms, 6 firms per category. Then we have a jury, which is for each of the categories we have different juries. And the shortlisted firms are fed into the jury, who then we conduct roadshows in 4 or 5 cities in India, which are public roadshows. Anybody can come for them. And the jury then, the shortlisted firms, present to the jury in each of these cities, and then we finally select the winners.
Okay, so there's a proper procedure, lots of cross-checking going on and so forth. Okay, well, we're of course showcasing a number of the nominees on the show today, and we're now going to take a look at Tring Me. Anything particular you want to say about them?
They sound interesting, but the proof of the pudding is what they present. So let's see what they talk about.
Okay.
But the name's interesting, Tring Me.
Well, that sure is. Have a look at Tring Me. We'll just tell you that it's something like the Indian Skype. Have a look.
One startup which certainly caught everyone's attention at the event was web telephony startup Tring Me. And Tring You is what the company does with its innovative, user-friendly product.
Tring Me was the first company in the world to demonstrate true web-based telephony. And what I mean by that is you click on the button in the browser and you're talking right from there. That's a very big differentiating factor, and it lends very well itself to the evolving web or the way the web has been. Nothing to download, nothing to install, simple button, click and talk.
Click and talk. Yes, click and talk is what it allows you to do across its various products on multiple platforms. The product's versatility lends itself to an array of varied applications.
For the matrimonial site, let's say you are looking for a prospective bride and you find someone you can talk to them without revealing your details. Hosted PBX solution, call center solutions, IVR, phone banking application.
A number of applications for a startup which in a short time has already made considerable progress.
So that was Tring Me. Next up, another startup that's a nominee here today at NASSCOMM's Innovation Awards. We're talking about Aspiring Minds. If you thought GREs and GMATs were difficult, wait till you see what Aspiring Minds has up its sleeve. Charitra Singh brings us the story.
Deciding on a college after you finish school can be quite a dilemma for many. But if you manage to take your GMAT or your GRE, a lot of avenues open up. Now, what if someone told you the same can be done for jobs as well? Wondering what I'm talking about? Well, here's what it is. Meet Himanshu Agarwal, a BTech in Computer Science from IIT, and his partner Varun Agarwal, with an MS in Computer Science from MIT and an expert in artificial intelligence. Together, the two set up the company Aspiring Minds that deals with the employment issue.
Aspiring Minds is a 2.5-year-old company, started 2007, basically in the space of employability assessment and helping both student community get jobs as well as corporates hire in a more efficient and consistent manner.
Their magic mantra? AMCAT, the only employability test in the country. The content of the test is based on what every employer looks for across board. The first one is language, under which English being the predominant language. The second would be the aptitude module. Here they check your logical ability and quantitative analysis. The third is skill specific. Here you take a test that is specific to your line of interest, be it computers, engineering, finance, etc. And the fourth is the personality assessment. This helps you decipher what job really you would be good at. $50,000 as initial capital and $500,000 of first round of funding later, Aspiring Minds is expected to have a turnover of $300,000 in this financial year. With those figures, one has to admit the test is definitely a success. And Dhruv Agarwal of iTrust could not agree more.
We started using Aspiring Minds last year for our campus hiring. What we found that when we went to campuses, we had to spend a lot of time and resources trying to interview many students before we actually shortlisted them for a second round of interviews and the group discussion. Aspiring Minds helped us reduce our time spent by actually administering a test for the larger group of students based on which we could actually create the shortlist for the interview and the group discussion.
Dhruv definitely seems to be cashing in on the convenience factor. But if you're not a hotshot corporate and are just a student, then, well, not to worry. The team goes out to college campuses and conducts these tests on continuous basis. And if you manage to miss them even then, just get on to my.aspiringminds.in and schedule a test for yourself. Aspiring Minds seems to have cracked the employability dilemma that students and corporates normally go through. No wonder their next plan of action is to make sure that they increase the accessibility test to the smallest of towns and the biggest of companies.
Well, if you haven't had your fill yet of all these great startups, then here's another one. I'm standing with Murli of Rural Shores, and he's, of course, again, one of the nominees here today. Murli, tell us a little bit more about the company and what it does.
Sure. We are into setting up the BPO centers in the rural areas. And our tagline is nationwide, countryside. So we want to be setting up the centers all over. And our goal is to set up 500 centers, providing employment to 1 lakh rural youth.
And was it, a challenge, or did it take time to actually get people to understand exactly what it is you were doing?
Yes, it is. It's been a challenge. We are only about 18-month-old organization. First 1 year has been challenge, convincing the markets that this can be done. And now we're getting a lot of traction.
Great, and obviously being here at NASSCOMM and being one of the nominees completely validates their business model. We wish them all the best.